of course, as Remember Wednesday here on the show, which, of course, a new sponsor is Fayetteville Fly Co. Fayetteville Fly Company is a small business right here in Fayetteville, so it's very locally owned. They have outdoor apparel for outdoor enthusiasts, and, of course, the weekend warriors and everybody who enjoys Northwest Arkansas that wants to go fishing, hiking, biking, hunting, so much more. They have hats. They have long-sleeve tees like this one I'm wearing right now. It's really comfortable. It's really awesome. And the best thing about it is if you go to fflyco.com, Hogs by 20, enter in your promo code, 20% off your entire order. Also free shipping on all orders above $50. So it's a great stop for the holidays. New full zip jackets, hoodies, all that good stuff. Check it out today. It's Fayetteville Fly Co. at fflyco.com. Use promo code Hogs by 20 for 20% off your purchase. But man, I feel like the Remember Wins could just be about what fans have been talking about and calling in on. Hey, remember when we were good at this? Remember when we had this type of expectation? Remember when this and that used to happen? It's pretty incredible, man, to see people getting fired up. But it's amazing how also that one little report, I wouldn't call it a report. What do you call it? A thought, maybe, from On3, that they said that Sam Pittman feels like he's going to be back.
Yeah, I mean, it's their people asking folks in the industry and, around the university what the pulse is on Sam Pittman. Like, I see somebody in the chats, like, it's a clickbaitish thumbnail title. What the hell it is? It's a national story that we're discussing.
Yeah. It's not like we're coming out there being like, oh, look at this. We're just making this crap up. It's like, no, there's actually legitimate. Here's the thing. For the most part, we'll have some titles that may be just kind of like, hey, just kind of spark a conversation. But for the most part, it comes from somewhere. It's not just we always pull it out of our rear ends and just like, hey, let's go with this and let's see what happens. Like, no, there's a lot more to it. But yeah, this time it was actually legitimate and actually have people of note, has no connection to the University of Arkansas, saying that, hey, it looks like you might be back next year. It'll all be fine. But few Remember Wins that I just wanted to bring up, and it's actually dealing with football, so it's pretty level-headed here, though. But it's like, you remember when Arkansas wouldn't get embarrassed at home so easily? You remember when they used to actually have their best performances at home, just like most programs should. I always remember when they lost to Vanderbilt, and Jay Cutler came to town and beat Arkansas. It was like the most embarrassing moment I've ever had. I thought that was going to be the worst it's ever seen. People were so mad. They weren't throwing things on the field, but they were throwing things up in the stands. And lo and behold, now it's like Arkansas's home field advantage. They need to change that EA Sports college football ranking. They need to do that. It ain't 23rd anymore. Maybe 23rd in loudness, but it ain't 23rd in intimidation, because apparently it doesn't matter. I
mean, it's a tough sell when you lose your last two games by like a combined 55 points or something at home. So I mean, hell, I remember when Arkansas didn't get embarrassed at home in basketball. I mean, think about some of the stuff that happened last year, man. Tennessee 30-pieced them, Auburn 30-pieced them, double-digit loss at home to South Carolina, lost to Vanderbilt at home again.
That was my favorite one.
That was
lost to Vanderbilt. That was rough.
Gosh, man.
That was rough.
We got to reestablish greatness in our own buildings.
I know. And it sucks because it shouldn't be that way. And it makes no sense why it's that way. But it is. And it's not fun to be a part of. So you got any Remember Wednesday, something that brought up, you got to your attention?
Yeah, I like doing these based on the date, November 6th, or the opponent that you're getting ready to see or whatever. I mean, I know you remember the last time Arkansas played Lipscomb in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we don't see anything like that. And that entire game was at North Little Rock last year, folks, for people who don't remember, but they couldn't get the freaking lights to turn on after the introductions. We had like a 20-minute delay to start the game. Then it looks like it wasn't going to get weird. Arkansas was up by 20 in the second half, and they hung on by the skin of their teeth and won that game by 3. And Muss was real passive-aggressive afterwards. But, John, let me ask you this. Do you remember when Arkansas basketball last lost a season opener?
Oh, man. Yes, I do. I think I do.
Okay.
Texas in 2017, 18. Yep. Went down there. I believe it was some like military honoring charity, not a charity game, but it was something to do with like military appreciation week or something. And they got beat. I wanted to say it went to overtime. I could be completely wrong about that, but
I think maybe it did. But yeah, they definitely lost that game. Texas wasn't ranked then, even though I think they were later in the year. Let me ask you this question. Do you remember when Arkansas last lost a season opener at home?
Man, I'm really going back. That I don't. I don't know if has it happened in my lifetime.
I was going to say you shouldn't, because it hasn't happened since we've been alive. They've never done it at Bud Walton. Arkansas has never lost a home opener at Bud Walton Arena. The last time they lost a home opener in Fayetteville, it was 1973, John. So no, we don't remember. They lost 102-100 to Western Kentucky in what was the last game played without a shot clock in Barnhill Arena. Do you know who the coach was in 1973?
It's not Eddie Sutton.
Right before him.
It wasn't John Barnhill, was it? I don't even.
No.
I can't remember who it was.
Lanny Van Eman.
Ah, yeah, him.
That guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Great coach. Just couldn't
Legend.
get it done. Yeah. Just the recruiting just wasn't there. Didn't have the support he needed.
I got one more for you.
All right.
Do you remember the last time Arkansas played a football game on November 6th? I realize you shouldn't remember those dates, but it's a good story.
Football game on November 6th. Usually, I think it rotates in years, throwing the leap year, like every 6 years, maybe. I don't know, 2018. Is that when they played?
More recent than that. It was a fond memory, John, of beating Mike Leach and his kickers in a 31-28 victory over Mississippi State in 2021 to clinch bowl eligibility on that day. Get Larry the bowling ball out en route to a 9-win season. Remember when Arkansas won 9 games in the season under Sam Piven?
Fun times that was. Dominic Johnson being a great part of that running back room and getting it done. Ah, man, that was a fun game. In fact, I would make the argument that as far as close slobber knocker games that Sam Pittman's had, which hasn't been many, and usually when he has, it's been on the losing side of things. That one was probably my favorite one because it was at home, great atmosphere. What was on the line? Just two teams going back and forth, great kicks. And then you had, of course, rolling down the field with the game on the line and getting the touchdown. That was big.
Good time.
Big. That was good times. Shout out to David for the super chat. Appreciate you, David. Says, remember Wednesday, Al Dillard from the Hog Snout. Bring him back to verify the distance. Why isn't this a thing? God, I'm old. Maybe they will.
Who's going to be the first one to drill it from the snout on this team?
First one to drill it or first one to attempt it?
Let's go make.
All right. I think it'll be Nelly. I think Nelly will be feeling himself a little bit in a game and just fire off one.
He strikes me as that guy. For sure.
Yeah. I'd go with him. But here's another little Remember Wednesday. Speaking of that, my very first Razorback basketball game to ever attend as a child was actually in 1993, the year of the national championship, 93-94, against Delaware State, where Al Dillard broke the record for three-pointers in a single game at 13. He hit 13 threes. And if anybody hasn't ever seen the highlight, that's kind of where it comes from. I mean, other games too, but Dillard's range was stupid. I mean, it was ridiculous. War Machine 2013 has it on YouTube. It's just look up Arkansas, Delaware State. And it was like the local broadcast too. And just kind of homerish and everything, but it was really funny just seeing him pop up and just no one didn't even care. Just like, you just bring up the court and then drop up and throw a shot that was 35 feet out. It was great.
Do you remember how many he attempted?
I think it was like 25. So
hell yeah, man.
Yeah,
I like that
still.
I'm gonna look it up on Hog Stats while we're talking here, but that's incredible, man.
Dude, he was, from my understanding, maybe someone can correct me with the story, but I'm pretty sure that in that realm, it was Al Dillard was a JUCO player, and Nolan Richardson wasn't even recruiting him. He went down to Birmingham to recruit somebody else, and there was a bunch of multiple courts that players were playing at or whatever, and he kept hearing people blowing up about this guy, like, hey, you got to go look at this guy, and Nolan went over there and he saw Al Dillard, and he was just pulling up threes like crazy. Talked to him, he's like, hey, I want you to come play for me, and then he ended up doing it. He wasn't even being recruited. He was like bagging groceries, just as a JUCO player, hanging out, and then
crazy, man,
comes out there.
22 attempts from three in that game.
13 of 22.
That's letting it eat, buddy.
At what point in time, like if you were Delaware State, do you just be like, hey, let's guard this guy and
not let him do that?
Yeah. Just double team him. But yeah, those are fun times there.
We were going nuts about like JD Note just shooting 29 shots in a game period in the NCAA tournament. Could you imagine somebody for Arkansas nowadays shooting 22 threes. They haven't had a good enough shooter to do that, in fairness, but man,
No.
Isaiah Joe would have been the one guy where I was like, yeah, just shoot however many you want, man.
Yeah, him, Mason Jones.
Mason for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that time that I think Antoine Bell, and I thought that was ridiculous. Antoine Bell, I think, made 8 in the game against Ole Miss. He went 8 of 15, something crazy. Man. But he was letting it fly.
If Macon wanted to, I'd let him. Macon could have done whatever he wanted. If I was coaching, he would have had the ultimate green light. I don't care.
Yeah. Man, nobody got the crowd hyped up and had more fun than him on the court. Yeah, Daryl Macon was awesome. Another Remember Wednesday, just some random ones here for actually basketball side thing since we're talking about it. But it's just remember when Razorback basketball fans were just hopeful to make the NCAA tournament. And now you see the expectation of where it's at right now.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that? Just a mere 6-7 years ago.
Seriously. That's right.
And winning has changed a lot. Also, remember when the SEC would only have 2 teams make the NCAA tournament? And here we are looking at, was it 7 teams in the top 25?
Yeah. I mean, they're projected to get like 9 or 10 in this year. That's not that long ago, John, where they were just getting a couple, man.
The coaches of like Rick Ray and was it Lebo? Was that his name over down at Auburn? I know it's Barbie, but I think Lebo was his name.
Maybe so. Yeah. I mean, it's insane. I mean, that was like Mike Anderson era. You know, it was very recent.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just some coaches that shoe buddy wouldn't even get a nod here in the SEC, but it's turned around. And then also there was another one too. Oh, I was looking at the talent level just on Razorback basketball, which we know. But it's just so funny. Like, remember when Hawk fans would get excited if they had like 1 5-star commit?
My gosh. And
how big of a deal it was. And now, how many total McDonald's All-Americans are on the roster? Is it 5, 6?
Well, let's see. Boogie Flan and Carter Knox, DJ Wagner. That might be all the McDonald's All-Americans on this roster. Because Billy Richmond was a 5-star, but he wasn't a McDonald's All-American. Let's see.
So only 3 McDonald's All-Americans?
Brazil, no. Adu, no. Z, no. Yeah, so just 3. Only 3.
Only 3.
You're exactly right. Oh, but it's crazy. I mean, I remember how excited. Let's think about it like this. And I know that class wound up being ranked pretty high. But think about Muss's first full class when he had, Moses and KK and Devo and Jalen Williams. And that was like, holy hell, man. No 5-stars in that class. Like if Cal put together that exact class, now people would be like, has he lost it? It's unbelievable, man.
Yeah. It's if Arkansas does not get a top 5, top 10 recruiting class, something's wrong. Yeah. Something's amiss.
Well, they're getting ready to get another 5-star on Monday. So,
do we have breaking news here, or is this just a good feeling?
Well, I mean, it's going to happen on Monday. Finally, Malik Thomas, he finally announced when he's going to announce, and that is on Monday. And so we'll be locked and loaded for that. By the way, people, like if it happens during the middle of this show, that would be cool. If not, I got my finger on the go live trigger for when it does, so we can talk about it. But it's gonna be a big day.
It will be. It'll be awesome. Just another 5-star to the mix.
Yeah.
Because what is he ranked overall?
Oh man, top 10 for sure. He's I think he's actually passed Acuff, who is your current 5-star commit. But he is, according to On3, who everybody's in love with today, apparently, number 8 in their composite rankings overall.
Not bad.
He's as high as 7th in some other places. So he's good. Consensus 5-star.
Well, that's good. That's good. Do you like those? Those are good to have on your team, I hear. So
yeah.
But there you have it, though, folks. There's your Remember Wednesday segment sponsored by Fayetteville Fly Co. Again, check out their website at fflyco.com. Hogs by 20% off. They're great outdoor apparel. Check them out today. We appreciate their partnership here on a Remember Wednesday.